welcome back to Moving to New Zealand. We're glad to be back here recording another episode. Today I have Julie. Hi.
Hi.
And we just met a few minutes ago, so I will get to know her at the same time as you guys, the audience, get to know her. So I start off with the basic same questions, and then we go from there. So how long have you lived in New Zealand?
Just over 6 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And what brought you here?
My husband asked me at dinner, what will we do if Donald Trump wins the election?
Yeah,
And this was the first time.
the first time. Okay, yeah.
And it literally came out of my mouth. We'll move to New Zealand. And I hadn't even been to New Zealand. So I just said it.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, there was an article in the New York Times
Okay.
by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And it was called The Dangers of a Trump Presidency.
Okay.
And midway down the article, she literally says, now is the time to move to New
Oh,
Zealand.
that's so funny.
And I just took it as this sign, that is the right thing. And it took me 3 years to convince my husband. It took
Okay.
me 3 years. He's like a Taurus, he likes his safety and his stability. So 3 years. So Trump was actually being impeached when we were
Okay.
fully.
I know I'm trying to go back in the timeline.
that
Okay.
first time. Yeah. So we got here and it took about 3 months to settle and to find a job and to do all of that.
Okay.
Because everything sort
Oh,
of.
so it was 2020.
It was 2019.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's before,
November
so
2019.
you came
So
pre-COVID.
literally, we got the job, we got the house, we got my daughter into school. She went to school one day and then she was sent home for COVID.
Oh,
It was really, really close.
okay.
Yeah. And then the whole world shut down. It was such a wild time to arrive in a new country.
Yeah.
All you want to do is meet people and make friends. And we couldn't. We had to stay in our
Yeah.
bubble. And it was a very intense time in New Zealand. I don't know if you were
Yeah.
here for it.
I came in 2021.
Okay.
So when we
Okay, New Zealand shut down hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You weren't allowed to drive your car to the beach. You
Oh,
had
okay.
you could go to the grocery store and that was
Yeah.
it. And then people would sort of cross the street to avoid you. So even
Yeah.
just small interactions that are so necessary, none of those happened.
Okay.
So it was intense.
When I came in 2021, though, they had shut down hard, but
Okay.
then you guys got to reopen quickly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
We had
so,
a 6-week hard shutdown.
Okay.
And then everything was normal. And
yeah.
for a long time.
But did
It
you
was very
feel
normal.
stuck because you couldn't leave?
We couldn't leave. I was really worried about my mom getting sick
Yeah.
and not being able to leave the country because we wouldn't be able to get back in
Yeah.
without being citizens.
Yeah.
So that was really hard.
That's
I didn't foresee, obviously, any of this.
no.
So it was a crazy time to be here. And then just such a culture shock because they're really strict on their rules here.
Mhm.
So that was really interesting just to be part of that. But you're trying to be a good guest.
Yes.
So you're really doing your best to follow all of the rules. And it was actually really refreshing to see compassionate leadership
Yeah.
that was well informed by science.
Yeah.
Controversial later on.
Yeah.
But you always felt her heart was in the right.
Yeah. And it's a small country.
A
and-
small
yeah.
country. And it was actually the best place to be, I reckon, during COVID. Because
And no one could come in.
no one could come in. So we got to really experience New Zealand,
Yeah.
without all the tourists, which was kind of
Yeah.
nice. We got to go to different places and do different things. And
Yeah.
that was kind of nice.
Even when we first got here, it was still shut down. But my
Okay.
husband's a Kiwi, so we got to
Okay.
come home
Oh,
because we're
yes.
citizen. Oh, I'm not, but him and the kids are.
Yes.
So we did the MIQ.
Okay.
Which again, we had already had COVID back in America, and
Oh, it didn't
so
matter.
we were just, this is overkill because
Yeah.
we've been through it. But yeah, so we did MIQ, but then still was shut down to tourists when we were here we got here and it was still, when we got out of MIQ, everything was normal. So it was
Okay.
oh, we're living normal life
Yeah.
for a whole 7 days.
Oh.
And then we went into the lockdown.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
So then
sorry.
that's when the first community case happened. It
Okay.
wasn't us, but whatever happened. Yeah. So I'm no, we just
The
got out of
lockdowns
this.
were really intense.
Yeah.
They were so intense.
Yeah, so that was hard. And when we came from New Hampshire, where the rules weren't that strict, and but we lived on a lake and mountains, so we were
Okay.
still on the lake in the mountain. I never really felt that restricted
Yeah.
because we weren't in a city. So yeah, here I felt it different. But we ended up, when you did do the hikes and stuff, when you were allowed to do the hikes and everything, they were empty because there were no tourists.
Yeah.
And I looked at it from another perspective that maybe nature needed the rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, from all of the people. And so that was kind of nice to experience. We got to experience New Zealand without all the tourists as well. So yeah. So when you made the
It's a wild time.
decision
Yeah.
To move, how long from, "Yes, we're going," to you were here?
3 years.
Oh, okay, but,
Yeah,
like,
it
how
took
long
3 years.
but even with the visa stuff, or that
So,
was
well,
con
it's interesting for us. So we basically, from like start to finish, like when we were like, yes, we're absolutely going to do this, it
Yeah.
was like 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
So we had to sell our house.
Yeah.
I had a business in America that I sold to my business partner. We sold our cars. We sold all of our furniture. We sold everything.
Yes. So you came with just suitcases?
Suitcases.
Okay, no shipping contained
Suitcases.
suitcases.
And our
Okay.
daughter, yeah,
Okay.
who was 15, who was on board, who
Oh,
had a great sense of adventure and was like ready for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is she still here?
She is still
Okay.
there. She's in university now.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And so she really 15, she had already experienced American high school a
So
little?
she had just started high school
Okay.
and she went for like a semester
Okay.
and she was really disappointed in the high school
Okay.
and we were as well. So
That was easy
that
to
was
leave
easy.
behind,
Yeah.
yeah. And then she went to high school here.
Yes.
And did she enjoy that? Or
Yeah, it was really interesting because of COVID, she had that first day where she got her books, she met her teachers, and then they
okay.
sent them home.
Okay.
They're like, "We're shutting down."
Oh,
She was really sad. She actually came home and cried.
yeah, I would too, like,
She's
you're here to meet
she just wanted
friends.
to make
Now
friends.
she's stuck with just her
Just her
parents.
parents again, and we had already been traveling as a family
Yes.
in a bubble, so she did
Yeah.
not wanna be back in the bubble. Yeah, but, it was 6 weeks of online school,
Yeah.
which was fine, and then all her friends in Seattle were doing online school for more than a year.
Oh, right, right, yeah,
So, in
so
comparison,
she got out, yeah, she had a better
yeah.
setup. Did she find it school here less stressful? Like, not as much homework and vigor?
Yeah, she got, like, skipped ahead in math,
Okay, yeah.
and so math was kind of a challenge just because I think they bumped her ahead a grade,
Okay.
and then it's a little bit different here,
Yeah.
so that was a challenge. Everything else, she's pretty smart, so
Yeah.
she was able to
That's
yeah.
a questions a lot of Americans ask, and, like, on the
Yes.
online forums and stuff. "Oh, no. Are my kids gonna be behind?" And it's like, "No."
Behind what?
Yeah.
Behind what?
I was
Like
like, "No." They're definitely because my daughter was in kindergarten, the younger daughter was in
Okay,
kindergarten, I think maybe she was at 1st grade by the time the move
okay,
happened, but she had lost the whole year of instruction because of
okay,
COVID. So I got her a tutor when we got
okay.
here, like a private tutor to
Yes.
get her reading up, and no, that wasn't me. Like,
Yeah.
there were kids in her class that didn't even know English. So, like,
Okay.
she didn't hear. I didn't need to do that, but I felt good about getting her
Yes.
up,
My daughter, like, bumped ahead a grade as
yeah,
well because
okay.
she has a September birthday. So in America,
Oh,
she was,
right.
like, the oldest kid in her class, and then
And
she
then she
came
became the
here and she
youngest.
became, like, the youngest.
Yeah.
So they just did it
They
different,
yeah.
and so she ended up with only 3 years of high school?
Oh.
Yeah, because she just started, and then all of a sudden she
Oh
was
my
like
gosh. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Was she happy with that?
yeah, she
Yeah,
she didn't
okay.
need she was like, "High school is actually"
Well, I took my daughter is 14, but she's in her 3rd year of high school here.
Okay,
Yeah. Because her birthday's in March, and so
okay,
she's the youngest in her class, but she, just switched high schools, and I was bringing her and her friend who I'd never met.
okay,
I met her they usually have to take the bus, but
okay.
today, since I worked here yeah. So she goes, "Can we pick up my friend?" And I said, "Oh, do you have one that was close by?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah." So I did in the car. The friend who she's now been in school with for a month didn't know she was American. I
Oh,
was
look at
like,
that.
"What? She sounds American to me." And she goes, "Well, I heard a little different of an accent, but I didn't know." And I thought that was crazy because to me, she still sounds very American.
Maybe around her friends, she has a little bit.
Yeah, and then
She
I
just
said I was like, "You haven't mentioned this?" And she said, "I guess it hasn't come up." Okay, and I mean, I'm an oversharer, so I think this child is just the opposite of me.
yes.
And, yes, it was funny. Her friend, the Kiwi friend, said, "Wow, I'd love to go to school in America. It looks so
Oh,
fun,"
yes.
because they ha that's why they had Mufti Day, so they were dressing up in like, pink today.
Okay.
And, I said, "I loved all that stuff in high school, like
Yes.
spirit stuff, all of
Yes.
that crap.
Yes.
I loved that in high school." And so, I don't think my daughter would care to miss like, it's not important to
Yes.
her, but her friend said that looks so appealing to me too.
Right. It's always what you
Yeah.
don't have.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, some people love it, some people could care less." Yeah. I guess the high school experience for me was fun, but not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so what state did you move from?
Yeah. So we moved from Seattle.
Yes,
So,
okay.
yeah.
I know we talked about that
Yeah.
before we started recording, but I wanted to get it on here. Is the actually I don't think I've ever been that far up. of the Northwest. So is the climate similar? Like, what's the climate difference
Seattle's just
like?
a little colder,
Okay.
and a little bit maybe rainier than
Okay. Yeah, but overall, wasn't a big shock in temperature and weather and
I
climate
think
for
the
you?
shock was that the houses aren't as insulated.
Mhm.
That first winter was a really cold winter as
Yeah.
we adjusted.
Yes, I'm still adjusting to that. How did you pick Christchurch out of the whole country?
So we were actually on the North Island and just staying in Airbnbs and touring around. And then the job came through in Christchurch. So my husband was
Oh,
like desperately seeking a
yeah.
job. So he had tried back in America, but as you know, it's quite hard. Like people don't
Yeah.
really take you seriously. He'd even flown to San Francisco to go to
Oh,
like he's in tech, so
okay.
at like a tech expo that New Zealand was
Oh,
even
okay.
seeking
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and that helped.
Okay.
Um, but, you need to have the right to work in order to get a job,
Uh-huh.
and there's a lot of
Yeah.
complications within that system.
So what visa pathway did you use to get here?
So we came on a visitor visa.
Oh, okay. It's fine. I've interviewed other people that did that too. Can't go back.
But we figured, like, worst case scenario, like, we can always go home with our
Yeah.
tail between our legs,
Yeah.
or we could, go to Australia.
Yeah.
Like, we had to have a ticket out of the
Yeah.
country when
Yeah.
we came here.
Yeah. But wait, the people who are on visitors visas and then COVID happened got to stay, didn't they?
So
Did
we had already, before COVID, like, became a thing, like, he had
Oh, you
already
had already secured
secured
a
the
job?
job.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
they sponsored him?
they sponsored.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
thank goodness hiring froze
That's
over
great.
COVID because everyone was just really nervous
Yeah.
about, like, what direction was taking, so companies were not looking to hire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he had already secured
He
that,
had
and
just
that's good.
secured the job.
And
Yeah.
that was down here?
So we were in Auckland, actually,
Okay.
and the job came here. So we flew to
Yeah.
Christchurch, and that was when COVID was just, like, creeping into
Mhm.
Auckland.
Right, yeah,
It
because
was,
they
like,
had it bad.
February. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just starting to creep in. So we were, like, really, like, we are like,
So
"Woo."
you got out of there before their
Yes.
long
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we came to Christchurch, and then COVID shut down everything, and so he started remotely. They, like, brought him a
Yeah.
computer. Like, we
Yeah.
had no furniture, we
Yeah.
were like we had just rented this house, but it was like camping inside. Like, everyone was
Yeah.
baking bread, and I had nothing to bake
Yeah.
bread with, like, you couldn't buy anything that wasn't, like, deemed essential in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like, things shut down so hard. You
We
couldn't
had
go to a garden store and,
yeah.
like
We had to buy a wash machine and a refrigerator off Trade Me
okay.
because because of the shutdown again as
Yes.
soon as we got here, and we were staying with my in-laws, which obviously is
Yeah.
not everyone has that, but I could tell after 10 days they did not. They were ready for us to get because we owned our house already.
Yes.
Yeah, because my husband's from here.
Okay.
So his house was ruined in the earthquake back in 2011. We were in America. He replaced that house with this house across town as a rental, not something we're ever going to move into. He just is like, I don't want to get out of the New Zealand market. So it had been rented out for 10 years. And so the renters had just left a couple months before we got here. And when we walked in, I was like, this is not what the photos look like.
Oh.
No, I hated it. We're still there, by the way.
I'm so
It's the younger one is at the primary school still, so she's been
okay.
there. She walks there every day.
Yes.
It's, like, so important to her. So we have
Yes.
tried to get out of that
The sacrifices you make for
we
your
haven't
children.
actually gone to a lot of auctions, though, because 'cause I'm
Yes.
like, "Whatever, I'll just get her to school." You can say but
Yes.
we've lost out on so many auctions that it just gets exhausting,
Very
and
exhausting.
then
I worked in real estate. Yes.
here
Yes. For her.
Oh,
Yes.
oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, I go to the gym with one of the owners, and he followed me on Instagram, and he's like, "You need to stop trashing our industry." Like, I was so mean about it. I'm like, "You're a bully. You're actually bullies. These auctions are bullyish."
Yes, they are.
And,
They
I
actually teach us, don't know if we're allowed to speak about this.
fine,
Okay.
fine.
They teach us how to emotionally manipulate people at
Yeah.
auction,
I mean,
which
it's
I could only do it for so long. I wanted to know how the game was played here. So
yeah.
that's why I got into it, and I wanted to, like, buy a
Wait, did you
house.
get your license?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, you really committed to this.
I really committed.
Yeah.
Well, and the agent that helped us move, like, she was such a big part of our transition, and she was
Yeah.
really lovely. And I was like, I want to do that for people. Like, I want to be that supportive
Yeah.
person. And everyone I worked with had a great experience. I had
Yeah.
great experiences. But the game, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous here. So I had to stop. So I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't.
Well, he was like, "You can be
Yes.
the American that can be your niche because like, different
Yes.
like, I live in a very heavy Asian population, and so, obviously, people who speak Mandarin and stuff are gonna want an agent that speaks
Yes.
they're like, people like having an agent that's from their country a lot of times
Yes.
because they can understand where they're coming from. I mean, it makes sense. And so he's like, "You can be that person for Americans because you understand." And I was like, "No, because then I have to, like, be mean to them." Like, I just can't I don't think I can do it. And I'll tell everyone not to do an auction.
I mean, I
But
wouldn't do an
every
auction
house I want
personally.
is at auction, that's the problem. And so I went to them, and my sister-in-law is a Kiwi,
Yes.
and she's a very, like, chill, nice
Yeah.
Kiwi, and she went to an auction with me, and we left, and she was, like, the bully. I mean, they were,
Yes.
like, telling men to, like,
Yes.
"Come on, you're not gonna be your wife wants this, she's sitting here. You think your wife's gonna be happy if you don't buy this house? You can't put in another
So
$50,000?"
I love New Zealand so much. There are so many wonderful things about this country, but they have the highest housing costs for the developed world.
Do they?
Yes, in the, like,
Okay.
OEDC
Oh.
countries, New Zealand has the highest. I mean, you really have to think about, like,
Yeah.
how are they selling houses to each other? Like, it benefits agents, it
Oh.
benefits banks, it
Yeah.
benefits the government. Like, they're
Yeah.
all
The
making money on
lawyers.
everybody's making a lot of money,
Yeah.
but for working families,
Yeah.
it's actually a really stressful process the way they do
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
and it's manipulative, let's be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
and it's not how you should make the most important financial decision of your life. You
No.
should have time and space and transparency.
Yeah.
So if housing is really important to you, like, it is a struggle,
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. And then
Something to consider.
that's why we're still, because he's had it for so long and there's no mortgage.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just like, serving
At
a
least you have that.
purpose. And then it was kind of like, I don't know, I just got over it.
Yeah.
But now with the winter starting, I posted this in the American group the other day. Someone said, "Do you ever think about going back to America?" And I was hanging lawn We okay, we the dryer thing, yes, we actually do have one, but it, like, blows all the, like, moisture back into the air, so, like, everything in the laundry room, like, starts to peel because
It doesn't vent.
it doesn't have a
Outside.
vent, no, and it's, like, this big. I mean, it's like a dinner plate size. It's not even worth it. It takes so long, and then it's blowing all the air, like, all the moisture in, and can't be anyway, so I'm out hanging laundry the morning at 5 AM, in the it was, like, freezing, almost freezing, dark, and I'm like,
Yes,
F this place, I'm not
yes,
doing another winter here."
yes. It is that, like, a harder, do you know what I mean?
You have to just be
You have to be really,
hardier. Yeah, I think so.
but, you
But then
know.
I drove to work and I saw that there was snow on the mountains and the
Yes,
full moon was out, and I'm like,
and it's
and
very charming.
yeah,
It is so char
and the traffic isn't bad. Well, it wasn't at that point. And so I calmed down from my rage. Yeah, but most Americans do have, like, real dryers because they live in newer houses with proper vents.
central heating
Yeah, like, there are
and
updates.
insulation and double glazed windows.
Yeah, so some people have that. So when I complain to Americans
Yes,
who haven't lived this Kiwi life,
yes,
and I have a real Kiwi husband
yes.
who
Oh, he
watches
wouldn't.
that electricity bill,
Yeah.
he knows how much that dryer is gonna cost to run.
I think it's helpful if you think of yourself as a pioneer. Like, if you're
Yeah.
coming to New
Yeah.
Zealand, picture yourself as a modern day pioneer,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
and you just have to be like, you just have to tap into that inner hardiness
Yeah,
and just see it as an adventure
yeah,
and release your creature comforts and your materialism, which
yeah.
I actually think feels good for us.
I do too, and even, like, when I tell people, I mean, I've been Amazon free for how many years, and
Absolutely.
it's like you don't I remember the first birthday party I tried to do, like, and I wanted to make it special because my daughter's first one here,
Yes.
and I love birthday parties back
Yeah.
home, like, all of the artistic part about it, the
Yes.
creativity. I owned a food store, and so, like, the food part was, like, really important and stuff, and so, yeah, and then I'm like, "There's no Etsy, there's
Yeah.
no Amazon, like, how am I gonna get all these like, how
There's
am I"
no Michaels.
Yeah, no, how am I gonna make my
We have
crafts?
spotlight.
It has come in a few times, but yeah, so I was like, "You guys should see what it's like to have to host a birthday party without all of these things."
Yes.
But then I, figured it out, and then
But then we don't have school shootings. You
oh,
have to pick your battles.
no, it's safe, and even last night, I was walking at dark I went to the Court Theater,
Yes.
and I was walking back to my car at nighttime, and it's just like, I just don't
You don't think
even
about
think about it. Although I did live in Boston for many years, and I also used to walk home alone at, like, 1 AM, and I'd be like, "Well, there's streetlights." So there might be a sense of naive in there,
it.
and so also I don't know, I'm bad. I don't, like, I don't think about the things I should be scared of.
Well, you can't live your
Is
life that
more
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, like, an interesting, and there's an American I hang out with, and she loves it here so much, like, everything, and her
Okay.
house is new and warm
Okay.
and dry, like, she's got a beautiful modern
Yes.
house,
We
and
are now in a
oh,
modern, it
you
makes
are?
all
It
the
makes a
difference
big
in the world.
difference because now you
Yes,
just
I
feel more
can't go back.
comfortable. You feel
Yeah.
comfortable, yeah, and so sometimes when I'm with her and just, like, being in Hagley Park
Yeah.
or being able to go into the city and go to the art exhibit that was at
Yes,
Tapai Banksy. So one
yes,
one Saturday, I took my daughter and a girl that I mentor to the Banksy exhibit, and then an hour and a half later, we're out at Sumner Beach. And
yes,
so it was like, look at what we can do.
yes,
The accessibility to all of
yes.
these things, and so I do keep it in check of the appreciation I have. But my husband wouldn't think I have any gratitude for this
Right.
place. He cannot now. Okay, we covered that you came with suitcases. So how
Yes.
did you figure out well, I guess like you probably just brought clothes. Yeah.
Well, we came in summer,
Okay.
so we came at the end of November of
Okay.
2019. Like, we're leaving winter, which is really hard in
Yeah.
Seattle, and we're, like, bouncing into summer, which just
Yeah.
felt brilliant.
Oh, so your daughter wouldn't have been it was the very end of the school year, so she was starting
So
school like in February was she starting in February?
no, she started, like, midway through the year.
Oh,
Like,
she
we got to Christchurch in
in
February.
oh, in
Yeah,
okay, you got here
yeah,
in February.
and so she started, like, mid-year.
Oh, because you had started up north, yeah.
Yes.
Because you were were you gonna just because you hadn't been here before,
No.
so you were like, "We're gonna land and, like, kinda travel around and see what lands," or
Yeah, I was like I did know that they shut down pretty hard
Yeah.
for, Christmas,
Okay.
and so we're like, "Okay, well, nobody's gonna hire in December,
Yeah. So
so
we'll
we'll
just
just
vacation.
make it an
Yeah,
adventure
yeah,
and, like, spend quality time together."
yeah.
So we traveled the entire North Island, which is really just beautiful
Yeah,
and epic,
yeah,
and had a really lovely time, and then, went to Wellington, and we're like, "Okay, we'll do a big job search here,"
yeah,
and then went back to Auckland and did a big job search there.
okay.
Yeah.
So were you just getting Airbnbs?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess that's what a lot of people do
Yeah.
when they get here, they just get along, like, the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that seems to work well?
We stayed in 13 Airbnbs, like, all
Okay.
total around the North Island.
Yeah.
We had 8 suitcases and this, like, tiny rental car, so it was like a Tetris puzzle every time my husband had to, like, repack, so he's like, "Can we just"
So you did you
but I
have
love adventure, so I'm, like,
Yeah,
ready to go to the
yeah,
next place, and he's
yeah,
like, "Can we slow down? Like, I'm tired of putting all these suitcases in the car."
yeah. Did they wait, how long did it take to buy a car?
No, we just rented.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just rented a car,
Yeah.
like, this tiny little car.
And they
Yeah.
do long-term rentals like that?
Yeah, we rented it
Okay.
for, like, a month.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and drove it around, and then I think maybe it was, like, a month and a half. By the time we got back to Auckland, we, like, got rid of the rental car, and we
Yeah.
just walked everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Because people do say buying a car my husband bought our car from MIQ
Okay.
hotel room and
Yeah.
then, like, picked it up when because we were in Auckland and
Okay.
we knew we had to get to Christchurch, but
Yes.
although we did have a shipping container,
Yes.
we also had, like, 10 suitcases with a
Yes.
family of 4.
Yes.
So I am not a light packer, and I didn't know the shipping container was gonna take, like, 6 months, and
Yes.
so, I was like, "There's no vehicle to fit 4 of us in all of these bags," so
Yes.
we bought a high-vis van. It's never Yeah. We do use it for adventures, but it's
Yes.
never been I wanted to, like, she van it up and
Oh, yeah.
because the kids and I do go on, like, van trips, but we just throw an air mattress in the back, and
Okay.
I, like, made curtains that I hang up when we
Cute.
sleep, but it's
It's
not
empty inside.
Yeah. I mean, we have seats, like, his brother was just here with his family of 4, so they took it on a whole, like, road trip, and it was easy for them to get all their bags in there,
Okay.
and then his father went with them, and so, and then we end up meeting up with them in Golden Bay, and you could just fit more Yeah, you
Yes.
could fit more. So we keep saying we're gonna get rid of it, but then it comes
It's
in
so
handy
handy.
again,
Yeah.
and it's like we just keep it.
Yeah, it
So
was so lovely when we were in Auckland at an Airbnb, and the job had come through in Christchurch, like,
Okay.
multiple interviews. Like,
Oh,
I'm sweating
you're
bullets
like
because at this time, like, it's beginning of February, and we're, like,
and how long Yeah, you were like
approaching our deadline. We only
Yeah.
have 3 months to make this
Oh,
happen. So, like, the
yeah.
pressure is on. My husband is, like, you know,
Yeah.
really sweating
So his whole time he's just applying for jobs nonstop.
nonstop,
Yeah, it's like a
nonstop.
full-time job,
It
applying
was
for
absolutely a
jobs.
full-time job.
Yeah.
He did a really like, I'm really proud of him. It was hard. It was
Yeah.
hard. And he's, like, a tech guy, so
Yeah.
interviewing is, like it's
Yeah.
challenging for him. He wants
Yeah.
to talk to computers, not people.
Yeah.
So the job came through in Christchurch, and we're like, "Oh, thank God," like, really grateful. And so we bought a car, and the people that we bought the car from, like, actually picked us up from the airport. Like, this is how lovely New Zealand is. They
Mm.
picked us up, like, the car company, like, picked
Oh,
us up at the airport and, like, drove us to the lot, and, like, we bought our car, and then because of, like, banking in America, the
yeah.
bank was closed, we couldn't even pay for it that
Yeah.
day, and they're like, "No problem, just take it home, just pay on Monday."
Oh,
It was so wild to
whoa.
me to be in a country where, like, everything was so lovely, and
They
the people were so helpful and trustworthy,
Yeah.
and that was just it blew my mind.
Yeah. I just got I got a car when we got here, but I think my I don't really remember. It was, like, so crazy at that time, so I don't
Yes.
remember the process, and I think he just took control,
Okay.
which was nice because back in America, I was in control of everything because it was my country and, like, the
Yes.
systems were mine. So when he came to be with me, although I was, like, only 22, I think everything just ended up always being on my shoulders.
Yes.
He also worked away a lot when he was there, so but when we got here, I was like, "This is your country, like, you already have a bank account, you know the
Right.
system." So he ended up taking control and the mental load, of things he had
Yes.
never done in our marriage,
Oh, that's
and
nice.
so I felt I was like, "I don't know." People were like, "How what's this?" I'm like, "I don't even know. This is crazy because 'cause I'd always been in so much control." But we just bought a car now like a month ago, and even that process, like, I'm, like, on the defense ready to be screwed over, like, like, all this stuff,
Yeah.
and something did end up having it wasn't major, but there was something wrong with it, and I'm, like, writing these emails, like,
Yes.
on the defense, and I'm CCing in my husband and stuff, and he's like, "Can you like, you were being, like, too aggressive, be nice, like, they will
Yes.
fix," and so then I'm like, "Sorry," and but they did take a long time to, like, fix it, and they're like, "Oh, come back. Here's a loaner car," and it was like a 2004 Toyota Corolla with, like, cigarette burns and no AC, and it was a hot day, and,
Yes.
smelled like vomit, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And then I was like, "Okay, it's only a day, actually, you can do this." So I have it, and then they're like, "Well, you're gonna have to keep it for the weekend." I'm like, "No." And so then they gave me another one, and it broke down at an intersection. I dropped my daughter and her friends off at Lord, the concert, Woodbrook? Whatever it's called, the concert
Yes.
place, and, right outside that, so busy Friday night traffic, and it just breaks down
Oh,
and I call them, it's 5,
yes.
6 o'clock on Friday, they're not gonna answer. It was finally, after a long time, this really nice Kiwi guy helped and pushed it out of the road with
There's
me, and
always, like, a lovely
yeah.
Kiwi that is just ready to be helpful. Like, it is a beautiful country
Yeah, well,
for that.
he was appalled that a Kiwi hadn't stopped earlier than that,
Oh,
but then he popped the roof and, like, fixed it, and then, gave me his card. He was a panel beater,
yeah.
which is someone who does body work on cars.
Yes.
It's such a funny name, panel
Yes.
beater, but, he gave me his card, and then, like, the following week, I went and brought him a gift of thank you
Oh,
because I got thinking, he didn't have to just push me out of his way.
yeah.
He actually because then I still had to wait for a tow truck, which was also not coming. No one was answering the phone. Not even the police were answering the phone. I
Oh,
mean, it was
wow.
that part of the
Oh,
Kiwi
wow.
oh, yeah. And then that's the funny part. Then I continued to have that car for 5 more days, and this was all to program a key on my other car. I mean, something so simple took
Yes.
6 days, but it wasn't a lack of them being like, "No." It was just they couldn't I
Yeah.
don't know, it just took them time.
Yeah.
And so
Get
then
used to island time. Like, island time is how
but
things
I was interpreting it as they're ripping me off, they sold me a lemon, like, I was just automatically ready to, like, write them a bad rev I don't
Oh,
actually write bad reviews, I don't do that, but, just trying to
yeah.
defend myself up against this purchase, and they were working on it just very slowly. So, yeah, I actually said something I did meet someone yesterday, and he was, like, 15 minutes late, and I said to this Kiwi, I'm like, "Oh, it's island time," and he didn't really get the reference, I don't think. So, yeah, what was the biggest surprise? Like, I mean, you hadn't been here, so
Yes.
you only knew what you saw
Yes. The
online, but
weather, hands down the weather. Like, everything looks so gorgeous in photos, and I
oh,
thought New Zealand would
it's
be more like
trop
Hawaii.
okay.
And then, like, I didn't even know about weather until I moved
Yeah,
to New Zealand.
okay, like the
Uh,
wind
the
directions.
wind changes everything, like, the wind is mean.
Yeah. I mean, it makes and breaks everything.
Yeah,
Like, the other day was sunny, but the wind kept it
yeah.
cold.
So actually, when we were looking for jobs around the North Island and we got to Wellington, I was just like, "No,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
like, I
yeah. Yeah.
cannot. Windiest city in the world, like, insane."
And you
And
could just yeah.
I could feel it. I was like, "Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
cannot live like this. I'll have
Um
dreadlocks." I just can't.
I don't even really check the weather because everyone else is constantly talking about it, so I don't
Okay.
need to. But the other day I did check the weather and it has on the New Zealand weather, it says time to dry laundry. That's a measure of weather
Oh.
here. And I did have
It
to
tells you how
laugh.
many layers to put on
Oh,
too.
does it?
Yeah, some of
Oh,
the weather yeah, like the Met Service tells you,
yeah.
like, "Today's like a 3-layer day."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it really is a layer country. Like
it is a layer
it
country.
starts out
Layer up.
freezing cold and then by 1 o'clock you're
If you figured
hot.
out layers, you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I dress for the weather I want, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
much always cold and disappointed.
I know. Well, I feel like I'm often hot anyway. I mean, I
Okay.
always keep a jacket. Yeah. Well, when my car broke down, he got it fixed. he was like, "Wow, that air conditioner is on full blast." And he said something like, "Oh, go take your menopausal cell phone," something, but it like, I think I said something earlier about how I need AC. I'm like, "I'm middle-aged, I need AC," or something, but I hadn't quite used that word, but
Wow.
he did say that. I'm like, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." I did not say menopausal. I just said I'm hot, like, and so I was like, "I do like a good AC in the car, though." I was like, I will."
I thought you were early 30s, so that's shocking
Oh,
to me.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
for the
very much.
audience.
Well, keep seeing people in their like late 30s, like are talking about perimenopause. I'm like, no, no, I don't think so. Not me. Not me. And then I'm like, no, because I think I've always been hot. Like I don't think this is new. I like putting on a heated seat with
Yes.
an air
Always,
conditioner.
always. Heated seat is like
But like no heat, I don't like heat blowing in my face. I
Yes,
want to feel like warmth around me.
yes. I'll drive anything as long as it has heated seats.
Yeah, well, that was like a requirement
No,
for
it's
the
a
car.
requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the biggest surprise was the
The
weather.
weather is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then so when you went through the house buying process, were you
Yes.
already an agent by then? Oh, no, no, because your friends you had an agent that helped you and that helped.
No, so we were renting. We were renting this,
Yeah,
it looked like a 90s castle.
okay.
Like, lit
Was that process good? Like, are landlords nice?
It
And
was actually really hard to find a rental. Like, it
okay,
was actually really stressful. We were staying in an Airbnb in Christchurch for 2
okay.
weeks trying to get into a rental, and, like, every time we would show up, there would be, like, a line of 20 people, and, like, they would be taking applications,
So how do you, like, stand out?
right?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone who wants to move here? What can they do?
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy to, like, assist
Yeah,
anyone.
okay.
Yeah. They can reach
Um,
out to me on Instagram.
okay, give
I'm
your Instagram, and we'll do it
yeah.
at the end too, but
Okay, Julie in New Zealand.
okay.
Be happy to be boots on the ground if somebody because it was actually really stressful. It
Yeah.
was really stressful.
So do you offer service to people moving?
Yes.
Okay, talk about that then.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
I missed it. I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Should I know
So,
this?
yeah,
Maybe.
just because I've been through the process, I didn't have anyone helping me.
Okay.
And, yeah, I partner sometimes with immigration advisor.
Okay, talk yeah, so do people reach out to you directly and then you talk to the immigration
Yeah, it just
advisors?
kind of depends on, like, what their needs are. I've also brought a dog into the country. I've
Okay.
had to, work with school zones and all of
Yeah.
that, and
Oh, to help people. So when people reach out, what is something they're really struggling with?
sometimes it's a visa. The
Okay.
visa process can be really
And that's
convoluted,
constantly
and
changing.
it's constantly changing.
I know because some visa pathways someone came on 3 years ago is
Mhm.
no longer an
It's no longer.
option or the green list has
Yes,
changed and
yes,
yeah. Um, and even the investor, I had
yes.
someone on
But
who
also, like,
came.
housing. Housing is, like, a huge thing that people need help with.
Yeah. Because some people can come here and buy a house right away, right?
You need residency to buy
Okay.
a house.
Yeah. Think the
Or if
purse.
you're doing like, if you're, like, in this upper echelon of millions of dollars,
Yeah.
there is, like, a new and it's just now opening.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
there was an investment
that's
visa one back when I
that's
came, but it was
yes.
$1 million.
Okay.
New Zealand dollars. So for an American,
It's probably, like, 6
it's like 600 if
Yeah,
they sold a house,
yes,
they
easy.
could do it. And then, if they sold a house, especially like in a,
Yeah,
nicer area, and then the New Zealand government uses that money and invests it, I think for 5 years, and then they get it back. But I think they get it back. I can't remember because I've interviewed someone, but they get it back as the $1 million
yes.
because the government keeps whatever interest or whatever they invest. They get the investment end of it, and so the person just gets back what they gave, and so that's kind of the not loss because 'cause you're gaining residency. Yeah, and so now that's a much higher amount, it sounds like, which makes it difficult. I was at the play with a friend from Taiwan yesterday, and he had read an article yesterday showing how many people have applied,
Mm.
and he was like, "I'm surprised only 200 Americans or 220 or something have applied for this investment visa." And I was like, "Oh, I thought there'd be a lot more, to be honest, that would have applied."
I mean, it is like, it's far away,
Yeah,
it's yeah,
yeah. And is it 5 million now? I
yeah,
don't remember.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit more of a chunk to give away for a while, even if you're super wealthy.
Yeah.
Did you have a good experience moving your pet?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I used a pet service
Yeah.
transporter, who was great, and it was just very
Mm.
rulesy. It was like a stack of paperwork that was like an inch thick process to navigate.
Yeah.
But she came across during COVID, so her quarantine was like 10 days, which was shorter than
Even than a human.
even shorter than
Yeah.
human, but she had to fly cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought our dog, but she passed away very soon after.
Oh,
So it was a risk and not one, no
yes.
regrets. Like she was still with us and it was during COVID.
Yes.
So couldn't go to the vets. Like you could take the dog, but you couldn't go in.
And
So we found a home vet and they came to the home and that was honestly a beautiful experience. Death is death, but to be all together in the comfort of our home and stuff like that. I mean, she was older, so it's okay. And I don't like to tell, I mean, I've talked about it on the podcast
yes.
before, but I like to tell people that is not the norm.
Yes.
So I know tons of dogs who have come here and they
Yes.
do well and they thrive and
Our dog
everything's
was
great.
5, so she was,
Oh
like,
yeah.
prime of her
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
but still, like, it was really hard on her, like,
Was it?
we had to, like, feed her pumpkin for, like, to, like,
Yeah.
reset because they
Oh,
give
because like
them
her
so much
digestive.
worming and they
Yes.
double dose you on
Yeah.
everything,
The vet in America who did the whole process, because it wasn't our vet, because you had to
yeah.
find the government approved one.
Yes, the USDA.
Yeah, and he said, "This is too much
It's
for an
too
older
much.
dog."
Yeah.
He did say, "If the trip doesn't kill her, all of this might." And so there was
Oh.
something said just because he thought it was too much for her system
It's a ridiculous amount of things that they do to a
in
dog
his
before, like
practice. Yeah,
yeah.
like in his life, in his time of practicing, he just said, I would have never done this in the standard,
Yes.
in my,
So New Zealand and Singapore are the 2 hardest countries to import a pet into, the
Singapore's
strictest
like that
yeah.
too.
They take biosecurity so seriously
Yeah.
here, which is why they were able to, beat
Yeah,
COVID for a
I
long
know,
time, but
and I do get it,
it's
and even now, like, when we have another dog,
yes,
her personality is not my favorite, but,
yeah,
yeah, they don't do like, they don't have to get rabies or like, there's just way less that they do here
yes.
because there's no need for it.
There's no rabies.
Although,
Yes.
I have another American told me, like, lots of cats and dogs here have allergies and stuff because 'cause they're, like, in like, it's they're she goes, "Well, they're island dogs, and there's only so many to breed from," and I hadn't really thought about that. I
Interesting.
don't know. I haven't fact checked that, but this dog we have now, like, seems to have skin issues, and I'm like, "What the heck?" I was like, "No child of mine is gonna have allergies. No child of mine is gonna have allergies. That's a bad immune system." And then my daughter goes, "Well, at least you didn't breed this one." I'm like, "No, right. It's not my fault." So there is a joke about that. But even like the other day, I was like looking at her, and so I'm always like giving her allergy stuff. I'm like
Okay.
putting nettles in her water. I don't know,
Have you
just
tried just changing your diet?
yeah, we
Okay.
changed the food because it was the same food she'd always been on too, and it hadn't,
Oh,
it wasn't a problem, and then it was, like, when the seasons changed, I don't know. She also goes over to this, property we have that's like a farm, and there's, like, stinging nettles, so sometimes I wonder if
oh,
it's
yeah.
that, but she gets into stuff over there, but I'm like, "It's not we don't have poison ivy, we don't have poison oak,
Yeah.
we don't have ticks."
Yes.
Did you have ticks where in Seattle?
Not very many. I think it's
Okay.
mostly an East Coast.
Yeah, like, I mean, we would have ticks on us every day. Yeah. I mean,
It's wild.
every night in the summer and
You
spring and
do
that
Tic
whole season.
Tac.
Yes, and we had, like, special tools where you remove them. I mean, we were constantly,
Shocking.
like, removing ticks, and in the inside of one of our kitchen cupboards was, like, a paper, and, like, each tick we'd put it in sellotape. Whoever that's what they call it here.
Yeah.
What's the American word? Scotch
Oh,
tape?
yeah,
Yeah,
Scotch tape.
sellotape. Wow, that's a key.
Wow,
I'm a
you're fully acclimated.
sometimes I don't know which I'm like, is that the American way or the Kiwi way? Like, sometimes I get confused now. We'd put them on a piece of paper and, like, write Ashley and the date or like Lennox, like whatever person my family was on,
Oh.
just in case, like, something developed, and then you could get them tested.
Oh,
We
that's a
no one
huge yeah,
ever had anything, so
okay.
never had to test it. Lots of people would go get their ticks tested all the time to see, and I'm like, "Well, we'll just wait and see if something happens." But also I had, like, a protocol, like a whole tick tincture and all kinds of stuff, and also I taught my kids not to fear them. I was
Okay.
like, like, I was like, because some people would, and I'm like, "Oh, it's fine, we just take it out, and you take your tincture, and we put the stuff on, and,
Yeah.
everything's fine." And so I think I don't know, that's the other thing. I think not having fear about things
Yes.
helps things not,
Yes.
wanna manifest bad stuff. The other day, my nephews were here, and they told me to call my kids out of school sick. I'm like, "Never! That's just bad karma." I would never say my kids are sick if they're not sick, because then that's inviting it. And,
Yes.
I said, "If I take too much pride in their health And my sister-in-law would, like, burst out laughing. She's like, "Of course you" she's like, "Of course it's a competition." And I was like, "Maybe a little." Not trying to, but yeah, I don't know, it's just funny. So your daughter's in university now.
Yes.
Is she stay on campus or does
Yes,
she
so she's in
Yeah.
Wellington.
Oh,
Yes. So we've also navigated that
yeah.
process of
Is
the
it
university system. Yeah.
hard? Yeah, so that's I went to a meeting at my daughter's school recently and the
Yes.
NCAA, like, not
Yes.
NCA,
Yes.
this is the first year she'll be taking it.
Okay.
And what they said was to get into university here, as long as you pass these exams,
Yes.
you're in.
You're
They
in.
don't care about your
Yeah, they're
extracurriculars.
just like, "Where do you wanna live? Pick your dorm."
They said it's harder to get housing than it is to get
Yes.
in. Yeah. So that's crazy. Like, you don't have to do all this crazy stuff to get into university here.
It's such a load off for
Yeah.
kids. All of her friends back in Seattle, were really
Oh,
stressed,
yeah.
really struggling, and it's so competitive and unfair for
Yeah.
kids to be carrying that much
Yeah.
mental load.
Yeah. And having to compete at that level
Compete at
just to
that
get in.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here it isn't that at all. So,
Yeah.
yeah, she started in architecture, and so the way it works is, like, the first year, like, pretty much everyone gets in,
Okay.
and then you have to have a certain GPA after the first year in order to be invited to continue the program.
Oh, so everyone gets in, but not everyone can stay unless you're
Not
proving
everyone can
yourself.
stay. You have to prove yourself.
And the government's funding most
So
big
at that
chunk.
time, they funded the first year. It was first year free, but
Okay.
she didn't qualify because you had to have residency for a number of years.
Okay.
And so she didn't qualify for that. So
Okay.
we had to pay, but it was like $11,000
For the whole first
for
year.
the whole first year with housing and
Oh,
everything.
with housing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
And housing is the expensive part.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah. Maybe, no, maybe that was without housing. Maybe it was
okay.
11,000 for the university and
And
14
then,
for housing.
y-
Room and board was
yeah.
14. Yeah. Yeah. So she started architecture. She got into her second year.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, this is not for me."
Okay.
So we're like, "Okay." She was like 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
And so she switched to, biology.
Yeah.
So I would rather her do that than spend 40 years in a career she didn't
Oh,
love.
absolutely. I think, well, here in high school, they start telling my daughter, like, what do you want to be? And they
Yes.
start in high school having her classes reflect what she's
Yes.
going to do. And I was like, do you know anyone? I mean, she
Yes.
knows, she says what she does, but like, she's
Yes.
14. And I knew what I wanted to be all through high school, all through
Yes.
university. And then, like,
Uh,
3 years into the job market, I was like, I don't like, I
yeah.
don't like it as much. So, like, your mind can always
Your
change.
mind can always change. And I think in America, we kind of do more of like, that first year is more general.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, you pick your major, like, when you're further in, whereas here
Mm,
in New Zealand,
you
you
pick,
pick your major straight out the gate.
yeah, they're not wasting
They're
time.
not wasting time in a first year of general. So for her, that wasn't ideal. And so
Yeah.
she, like, lost a year of school
Okay.
and a year of money, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So then she switched. She had to, like, write some emails and really fight for it to be
Oh,
able to switch even, which
wow.
I'm glad because she had to really want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she was able to switch to, biology. So she's studying marine biology
Oh, nice.
with that.
And that's so she didn't have to switch schools. The school
No,
had both programs.
she's
Yeah.
still in Wellington.
And is she liking Wellington?
She loves it. She
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
She did, like, get a mullet, which I was like
I feel like, yeah, because Christchurch
which is a very Wellington
is
haircut. Like,
it
I was like, "Okay,
like
you're
a
like."
full mullet? Like,
It's a cute mullet.
yeah.
It's a cute mullet. Like, when she told me, I was like, "You're kidding." She's out of my hands. She's out of my
Yeah.
control. I
Yeah.
can't dictate.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I was like, "Well, you're a real Kiwi now. You've got a mullet."
That's funny. My husband had a rat still when I met him, but I like barely I mean, I knew it was out of style and I knew it was wrong.
But it's probably in style here. Like, I feel like those ironic
Yeah.
haircuts are, like, all the rage.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when he came to America, I went to a wedding. It was right after we got married, and then we went to a wedding. People would be like, "Who's the guy with the rat tail? Who's the guy with the rat tail?" It was kinda like a faux tail. It wasn't
Okay.
total. It's like
Like, did he braid it?
no, it
Okay.
just came out long bottom, but it wasn't like
Okay.
a long tail. It was
Okay.
just like it came out a little bit.
Okay.
It
But it was
was
intentional. Like, he was going for
oh,
that.
no, he went to my, like, hairdresser and asked for this. and she continued to do it for years
And you
against my
didn't have,
will.
like, a back
And she said,
conversation with
"Every guy"
her,
I
like
did, every guy comes in and wants the same thing, I'm so relieved. And the Kiwis in New Hampshire, there aren't many. So they
okay.
just everyone's charmed by him,
I
the
bet.
accent,
I
all that
bet.
crap.
Oh, yeah.
And so everyone just bent over for him and because he was so unique there. And
Yeah.
so she's like, every other guy wants the exact same thing. I like how he knows what he wants and blah, blah, blah. And but so at this, and he is older than me and stuff. So I did always find him to be more like uncaring of what people thought. That was part of the attraction. So like I don't know why I was fighting to change him, but in New Zealand I didn't care that he did that when he come to
Yeah.
America. So at the wedding, who's that guy? And everyone's like, that's Ashley Williams' new husband. He's from another country. And like where they'd be like, oh yeah, he's from another country. He's older. Like all these excuses. And I'm like, I think at the end of the day it was just him. But we always would be like, oh, it's because he's from New Zealand. We just
Yes.
blamed that on everything because they didn't have anything to compare to.
I do see a lot of rat tails around.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's
they
well, it's back. I think it's
okay.
like back because this was 20 years ago.
Yes.
So it had faded and come back. What about food? Do you have anything to say about food
Oh, I
here?
have so much to say about food.
Yeah, because it becomes a big topic in our
Yes,
podcast.
I have so much to say.
Some people, yeah. Well, tell me your feelings about New Zealand food.
Oh, I really miss Trader Joe's. Like, if Trader Joe's could just open in New Zealand, it would solve so many
It
problems.
really would.
I would cry.
Have
I
you
would cry. I would sell my soul.
have you gone back and visited to the
Yes.
Yeah, and when you go back, do you go right toward Trader Joe's?
Yes, yes,
So
and
do
I
we.
stock up and I
Yeah.
all the things. Yeah, snacks. Yeah, yeah. I
My girls like a lot of their, beauty products and stuff
yes.
like that,
Oh,
like
100%.
hair
Oh,
serum.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, like body lotion, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
The
Mom
lemongrass
Yeah.
body oil,
Mine
the
gets
mermaid
some the
hair mask.
Christmas you know how they make, like, an advent calendar?
Yes.
My
Oh,
mom still gets it, but then we just saw my mom in January in
yes.
Japan. Instead of my mom bringing us home for Christmas this year, we
Yes.
met in Japan and skied. We'd never been there. That was, like,
Yes.
new for all of us. But
Yes.
she saved the Christmas
Yes.
at Trader Joe advents,
Yes.
and then each day she, like,
Oh.
gave them one of the things. So I was like, but,
I miss Trader Joe's. I miss Mexican food, like real
yeah,
Mexican food. Like
yeah.
New Zealand could use some more Mexicans.
We do, that comes up a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, and sometimes when we meet Mexicans, we're like, "Have you thought about opening up a restaurant here?"
Yes. But it's hard because like you can't get all the chilies,
No, you
like
can't,
there's
it's
no poblanos,
resourcing.
like it's hard.
Well, it's like sushi.
Uh,
Like, you probably had really nice sushi in Seattle,
yes.
and here, there's no
It's
variety.
very average.
Yeah, and it's
But
just
it's very accessible. Like sushi's very
so accessible.
affordable. You can everyone eats
Yeah,
it. Like that's
but it's
great.
the same
It's
everywhere.
the same everywhere.
Yeah, and, the sushi shop near me was run by this Japanese guy, and one time I'm like, "It's just all the same, like,
Yeah, like don't you
where's"
ever want to make a dragon
and
roll?
I asked, and he
Yes.
said, "I was trained in Seattle." He was
Oh,
from Japan, and he said he went and trained in Seattle and he worked at a restaurant there for many years,
yeah.
and he said it's not about his talent, and he ended up actually doing some custom orders for me.
Okay.
This is when I first moved here and I still had American money.
Yeah.
This would absolutely not when I first moved here and we were still on American money, life was the best.
Yes.
It was when that stopped that things got real.
Yeah.
So he made me some stuff and he was talented. He was not lying, but he said sourcing the stuff, it's the consistency and the price of the different
Yes.
fishes and just menu items. And he said, and Kiwis just like, this is what they like. And this is what they know. And they're not
Yes.
really interested in all these custom rolls and stuff like that. And yeah, that was basically it. But the sourcing of the ingredients
It's really
that was
hard.
the nail on the head,
That was really
probably.
hard. Although, like, certain cultures have figured it out. Like, you can get great Indian. Anything
Yeah.
Indian you can find here. Like,
And
there's
they're really good at
plenty.
importing
They're
too.
great
Yeah.
at importing.
Yeah.
Just need more of that.
You know, I do think about what was some oh, my sister-in-law just brought
Yeah.
us Trader Joe's bags.
Oh, don't you get jealous when you see the bag?
Well, she brought us,
Okay.
like, the canvas bags, but
Uh,
she had never even been to Trader Joe's, even though she lives in America.
yes.
She'd never been, but she found out they were trendy, so she
Yes.
went and
I see
bought
people all the time walking, and I'm like, "Where did you
yeah.
yeah, do you love Trader Joe's?"
Oh, well, you
And they're
can
like, "Oh,
sell
I've
them there.
never been. I just have the bag because I know it's cool."
Yeah. Well, I can sell them. The next time I go back, I might get more because they don't weigh too much, because just walking around here on campus, I
I
had it,
bet.
and people are like, "Oh my god, where'd you get that?" And then I was like, "Would you buy them?" I'm like, "How much do you think they were?" They're like, $20, 25, they're $3.99.
Yeah,
So,
3.99.
I was like,
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
Little side hustle.
I don't know how far I'd go with that, but I was thinking even at the grocery store, the young girls at the register were like, "Oh my god, I love your pen."
When
And
my
so
daughter,
it's funny.
was in high school, like, she made a really great friend, like, straight out the
Yeah.
gate, and for her birthday party, the friend gave her a Trader Joe's bag, and we're like, "How do you know?" Like, this Kiwi friend had never been to Trader Joe's, like, had
Yeah.
no idea, somehow sourced a Trader Joe's bag for her. Like,
Oh,
just a sweetheart.
that's so
So
nice.
sweet.
Has she remained friends with people she met in high school?
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
some would have gone up to the same school too,
Yeah, but
maybe?
she's made new friends as
Yeah,
well, and yeah,
yeah.
she tries to keep up.
And so many kids come here from around the world too, so I feel like it's constantly, I don't know, an influx of people. At least in my
Yes.
kids' schools here, there's always
New.
people coming in. Like, they were
Okay.
never even the new kids, really, because
Okay.
their school was just continuously getting people,
Okay.
even back in 2021. Yeah, it was interesting. And then, um, do you go up and visit her in Wellington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She mostly comes here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like
a little
a quick
easier.
flight. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Otherwise, you don't buy a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. Do you do any, like, hiking? Are you guys into that kinda stuff?
We did more in Seattle. Like, I
Okay.
find Seattle to be more like my preferred hiking climate. Like, it's
Yeah.
more foresty,
Yeah.
whereas here in the South Island, like, it's a lot of exposed hiking, just a lot of, like, full sun. So I've replaced hiking with, like, surfing and other things.
Yeah. Oh, do you surf?
I surf. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do some hikes, but, yeah, it's just, like, too much sun exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn to surf here?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I talked to someone yesterday who's learned taking surf lessons over in Sumner.
Yeah, Sumner is a lovely place. Like, it's a great beginner wave. It's very consistent.
Oh.
It's a wonderful place to learn to surf.
Have you learned any like, have you picked up any other new hobbies since living here?
Surfing. Oh, yeah, I've gone like spear fishing. Yeah,
Where do you do that?
that was just outside of Akaroa.
Oh,
Yeah, on the
that's
Big
cool.
Peninsula. Yeah,
What's your favorite thing to do in Aotearoa?
I just think it's charming. I just
Yeah.
like to eat at the little restaurants. And
Well, we have a place over there
do you?
on one of the bays, but I have friends coming over next week from Chicago, and I haven't everything's weather dependent, so I'm just,
Yes,
like, playing it by ear.
the weather is everything here.
But today I was like, I gotta make a list of things to do with them because 'cause we'll be there for 2 days, and I was like, I don't know, sometimes I'm just there and I don't think as a tourist, you know?
Yes,
So I was trying to think of the things I guess, like, trying to do one of those kayak tours.
the kayaks are nice. There's the penguins.
They're gone for the season,
Are
though.
they gone? Okay.
Yeah, when I was over there a
Okay.
couple weekends ago, I asked one of the penguin people,
Oh,
and they said they were gone for the
when do
season.
they come back?
I don't uh,
Is it a summer thing?
yeah, like, next probably summer.
November.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There's the dolphins. You could do the little Hector
Yeah. Are
dolphins.
they there even this time of year? Or
It's kinda like you might see
yeah.
them.
Yeah, I might try to do that because that's and it's getting out, you're seeing the view, at least it's,
Mhm.
like,
It's
something
nice to be on the water.
even if you don't see them, like, you're seeing something.
Yeah. We
Um,
went swimming with them, which was
you
cute.
did?
Yeah.
In Aotearoa?
Yes.
Oh, and they came out for you to swim with. What time of year was that?
Probably around this time of year. Yeah.
Oh, call
It's, you
let's
can't
see.
wear fins, so
Okay.
you're really just bobbing with the dolphins because 'cause you're in,
Okay.
like, a full wetsuit. So you're just kinda, like
Oh,
you're hanging and the hectors are kind of shy.
okay.
For the real dolphin swimming, you have to go to Kaikoura.
And my parents took
Yeah.
my kids to do that when
Yes.
they came for school
Which is,
holiday.
like, my favorite
I had
experience in New Zealand.
so much FOMO that they got to do it.
Yes. The
Um,
dolphins, like, swarm you. There's, like, hundreds of dolphins, and they chase you, and they swarm you. I do it every year on my birthday. I've
do
been 6
you?
times. Yes, I love it. I love it. It, like, sets my heart on fire.
Oh,
The
but it's
dolphins
definitely
swarm you, and you giggle, and they giggle, and it's just an incredible experience.
and is there a better time to do that in Kaikoura?
I go in April, but they do it
April.
year-round.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And you're in, like, a full wetsuit. Like, it's cold, but,
Yeah.
you're in a full wetsuit. You've got fins, you've got a mask, you're in the water. If you swim in a circle, the dolphins will chase you. They will swim, and you're, like, eyeball to eyeball with the dolphins. Yeah. And they're swimming circles around you, trying to, like, race you as you, like, swim in a circle. And you giggle, and then they, like it is
I
amazing.
I'd given my daughter a water camera when she went.
Yes.
She didn't get me anything because I was
Okay.
having so much fun. I'm not going, and
Yes.
she didn't capture me. Like, yeah, no.
Okay.
But she said they didn't get too close to them, but I don't know. Maybe they were not the dolphin. Her and her sister were probably fighting. Like, there are many
They didn't have their dolphin
possibilities.
energy
Yeah,
unlock.
there
Okay.
are a lot of possibilities
Okay.
of why the dolphins would have stayed away from them.
Okay.
My girls are 2 years and 8
Okay.
months apart, and they're not that close right now, and maybe they'll come back
In the
around.
future.
Yeah, right
Best
now
friends in the
it's just
future.
sometimes even try to do things with them separately at this
Okay.
point because it's not even fun to have them together. We did do a road trip last weekend to the Golden Bay to meet family. Well, no, it was fine because one was always sleeping. But yeah, that's okay. Hopefully they come back around because I didn't have a sister and I thought it would be
Oh,
fun to have a sister. So hopefully
oh,
they're opposite. They are very
yes.
opposite, but hopefully they figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would highly recommend dolphin swimming.
Do you think that your daughter will stay here for life?
She really likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really likes it. Yeah,
It's,
we'll
like,
see.
hard to see yeah, because I think about my daughter too, like, she definitely does not wanna go to university in Christchurch because
Okay.
she's, like, you know,
Yeah, she needs
we
something
live
else. Yeah.
yeah, she wants to experience something else, which I think is kind of the fun part about university,
Yes.
but so maybe if she goes somewhere else, but then she does talk about moving other places, and I'm like, "Oh, that's like"
There's always Australia.
I know, yeah, and she is a citizen, so she can, do that. Are you guys citizens by now?
So,
Must be close.
we're really close.
Yeah,
We have
that's good.
permanent residency, and then I think in March we can apply.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, and that will feel really
that'll feel really
a
nice.
nice relief.
Yes.
And you feel like you're set here for life?
Yes, it was a
Yeah,
big move. It's a big deal to move
yeah,
across the
yeah,
world.
I know. I think about my husband definitely wants to stay here
Okay.
for life, but he's such a content person too. But also his dad's here. His dad's
Yes.
older than his dad's a lot older than my parents, but my parents are still traveling and active and
Yeah.
just went skiing with us in Japan and stuff like that.
Wow.
But as they get older, it will just get harder. Do
Yeah.
you go like how do you handle like your family?
So I meet them in Hawaii. It's a timeshare, so she'll book that, and then it's, like, halfway for us. They're in
Oh.
Colorado, so that's really
And
nice.
have they been here?
No.
No.
I think it's too
Too
far.
far. Well,
It's too
that's not
far.
a bad place to meet them
It's
halfway,
not a bad
though.
place, and it gives
No.
us, like,
And because then you're not distracted by life
all the
here,
things.
and
Yeah.
they're not that was
And it's,
mm,
like, neutral ground, and it just
th
works. It seems to work out really well, so we've been really grateful.
this
Every time they offer, we say yes,
yeah,
even though my husband is like, "How many times can you possibly go to Hawaii?" And the answer is 14 so far,
yeah.
but we're
Oh, has it been that many?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to do that in Seattle as well, like, we
Yeah,
fly down there.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because she has the timeshare. You like, they're
But
go
now, yeah, it's really handy.
yeah. This last trip with my parents, because usually they would like, we'd go home to them or they'd come here. Going back to their house is definitely the hardest
Yes.
because they're empty, we're,
Yeah.
like,
You're the
in
children.
it is as
Yeah.
if I am a child again.
Yes.
She even, like, pays attention to how many miles I put on her car. Yeah, like, very particular.
Wow.
And then if they come here, it's pretty chill because I don't care about my car. I don't
Yeah.
care I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not as particular about stuff like that. So when they're here, it is chill, more chill. And then when we just met them in Japan, this time on totally neutral gear, like,
Yes.
even though there was a lot to navigate because it was like a snowstorm and they
Yeah.
gave us a car without snow tire,
Yeah.
it would have been like there were stressful things, but the neutral territory
It makes such a difference.
it was so fun, like, and there was
Yes.
no real drama like,
Yes.
there was stress when things went wrong,
Sure.
but, like, we worked together to
Nobody's
figure it
feeling
out.
territorial.
No one is
Yes.
territorial.
Yes.
Yeah, and, I mean, my dad's a pretty country bumpkin, but he did pretty well too. It's almost like like, watching him so far out of a comfort zone was very
Oh.
entertaining, though.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
he was like he doesn't not eat raw fish, even though he's a fisherman, but, like, there was so much sushi and stuff, and we're, like, making him eat it and
Yeah.
doing hot pot where you, like, put the
Oh,
raw
yeah.
meat
I
in the
love
thing.
hot pot.
Yes, he was like, "This does not seem" he's like,
Yeah.
"This doesn't seem sanitary," and stuff like that. I'm like, "It's boiling." And then, like, when we went to 7-Eleven, he got, like, a carbonara or something because the 7-Elevens there are just
They're
different.
amazing. Yeah.
And, oh god, like, we were, like, taking a video of him in the car. He's like, "This is my favorite meal since we" and, like, the content that he provided was really good because and we kept having to be like, because we're loud and they're very quiet.
Uh,
And so I was like, embrace the culture, embrace the culture.
yeah.
And then he went to the
Oh, the
bath, to a
baths.
Japanese house.
Yeah.
And my dad's a big sauna guy. He's always had a sauna. Like he'll go in a sauna and then like jump in the snow and stuff like that. Like, so that part he's used to, but they change. There's the man's side and the women's side, and they change it every day because that's
Oh.
the culture. So no one gets the better side. I don't know. But he knew he'd gone up and the
Oh.
side was on the right. So the next day he went up he went it's mandatory naked. They're all mandatory naked. And so he was like and it was the female side. But they weren't even mean about it. They were just like, "Sir, you're on the wrong side." And I was like, I wish I would not that I wish I saw him like
Yes.
nude, but I wish I was there to see the confusion and the embarrassment, but
Aw.
he said he wasn't that yeah, I was like, "Were you embarrassed?" He's like, "Not that bad," because I was still confused, and so I was like, "Oh, man." Yeah. So anyway, so if you had to give advice
Yes,
things change so much, but for
yes,
someone who was thinking about this move today in
yes.
2026, what advice would you give
Yeah, I mean, I would say visit New Zealand
before you move here?
before you move here.
Okay.
Yeah, just get a feel for it.
Yeah.
See if it feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think people come and it's just too different that they can't handle it?
I mean, it's really small. Like,
Yeah.
it is a small country. It's quieter,
Yeah.
things close early. It's like
Yeah.
a different vibe,
Yeah.
and see what you think.
That's true. I know. And
See how you feel about the weather. You'll
sometimes
surely have some.
I see tourists who have been here for a couple weeks and they're
Yes,
like, I want to move here. And
yes,
I said, oh, I'll be like, are you
yes,
financially like sound? Like, do you have enough investments and
yes,
money and stuff? Or will you need to work here and live off of that?
yes.
And if it's not if it's the latter, and I'm like, it's hard, especially if you have, like, family and stuff and you are, like, completely dependent on this income here,
It's a
like
life
s
adjustment.
yeah,
And then my second piece of advice is to ship your stuff. So we basically got rid of everything.
and you
And
miss
we were
it.
like, oh, we'll just start fresh. But, like they don't have a lot here just
Yeah,
because it's the bottom of the
yeah,
world. Like there's just not as much selection.
yeah. So do you miss your stuff?
I do miss my stuff. I wish
Yeah,
I had kept a lot of stuff. But I was just in this process of like,
yeah.
let it go,
It felt
let it
freeing at
go.
the
It felt very
time.
freeing. Yeah.
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 Yeah, because you had to buy all your
I had to buy everything new, which I just thought like, "Oh, I'll just go to, like, TJ Maxx and just get some
Mhm.
housewares," but, like, there is no TJ Maxx and everything is really expensive,
I know.
and, yeah,
Uh,
so I would keep your American things that you love
yeah,
and just ship them.
okay.
That would be my other piece of advice.
Okay. Before we wrap oh, wait, are you
Yes.
working now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Did you find work well, I guess you've had a few things, but have you
Yeah.
found working a big adjustment, like more work-life balance?
Uh, really good work-life balance.
Yeah,
Really good work-life balance.
yeah. Most people say that, like, they tell them
Yeah.
don't stay past 5 and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. My husband, he's in software and he works 40-hour weeks.
yeah. And back home, he would've worked a lot more.
A lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
And even though, like, there's pressure, it's like, well, it's kind of like, we'll just have to do it tomorrow because,
Yeah,
the day is over. Like, you just
yeah,
fit it within your day and you're not expected it's just not the culture to, like, work late, which is
yeah,
really refreshing
yeah.
and I think a lot healthier.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's like on Friday when I was trying to call tow trucks, AA, all these people.
Yeah.
"Oh, bye. We're gone for the
Yeah. Yeah,
weekend.
they take that
Yeah.
seriously.
Very
They have really
seriously.
nice boundaries
Yeah.
around when work is appropriate and, like, what
Yeah.
life outside of work should be.
And I've had to adjust because I was like such a motivated and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, go getter, I guess. And so I've been like, oh no, I don't need to do that. Like step it
Yeah.
back and adjust. And then I'll just look annoying if I'm being too efficient.
Slow
So to
down.
be less efficient I know this is so bad. I told someone earlier, not to say where I work now, but at a place I work,
Yes.
I was, like, consciously slowing down and not getting things done as quickly
Yes.
because I could just read the room and that, like, they weren't like, the
Right.
supervisors weren't appreciative of that.
Yes.
I thought that this would make them happy, and no, because it just made them not look good, maybe, and so I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll go on and do something else for a little
Don't
bit."
be the tall poppy.
Yeah, no. I know I did tell someone like, "Well, I am the tall poppy," and my brother-in-law said, "Well, the tall poppies get cut first." And I
Yeah.
was like,
Aw.
"Mm,
Oh,
okay."
okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a
Cultivate
bunch of
mediocrity.
Americans in this MBA program.
Yes.
There's actually one that just moved from Colorado. He just got
Oh.
here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's in this leadership course yet, but they go through all your strengths and stuff, and you take all these tests. And all the Americans, their least strength is humility. And
Oh,
all the Kiwis have a lot of that. And
yeah.
so
But
I
it's
mean,
such good growth.
yeah.
Really, I think it's really actually nice to adjust yourself to a different culture.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have so much more awareness of, like, yourself as a person outside of your culture.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of awareness of the culture that you're coming into because you don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
So, I think it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. And because you become more aware of other
Yes.
people's
Yes.
cultures.
And then I think being an immigrant is a very
Yeah.
humbling experience. Like, it's very humbling to,
Mm,
like, start at the bottom and to,
mm,
like, have no rights. Like, when we got here and it was COVID, it was like, you literally can't leave the country. Like, it was very humbling. And I
yeah.
think that was, that was a good process to go through because it makes you appreciate everything so much more and
Yeah.
you don't take things for granted.
Yeah.
And like it's hard. It's hard to leave everything that you've known and
Yeah.
your whole system and your whole culture and your family and your friends. Like it is like a huge adjustment, but there's so much growth at the end of it. There's so much
Yeah.
growth in that process. And then I think for us as a family, it was really bonding. Like we are just really close
Mm.
because we had to weather that together
And work
and
it
we
out.
were all lost
Mm.
us. And then our daughter is just, so adventurous. Like she really takes life in stride because she's
Yeah.
had this experience.
So things kinda, like, flow off like, when
Things really flow. Everything is kind of like in perspective because
mm,
it's like, well, you've already like done these big life adjustments and you
yeah.
chose them, which is, like it's a lot harder for people that are refugees or that don't make, they're not
Yeah.
doing it by choice and they come with less. And I always think about that. So, we're still privileged as immigrants, but it is a
Yeah.
humbling process.
Yeah. And I think even with the kids too, it sets them up for being able to deal with hard things,
Yes.
easier without like,
Oh, so much resilience.
yeah, I'm always like, "Aren't you stressed?" And she's like, "No." Which I don't even really know what that feels like. I
Oh,
was like, "Okay." Neither of my kids, like, I don't
yeah.
know, like, as a teenager, I felt stressed
I
and
felt stressed
overwhelmed
all
about
the
stuff.
time. I felt overwhelmed all the time. And I
Yeah.
think coming here, it took like about a year to like what I
Yeah.
consider like my American anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because life is just like chill
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna lose your health care. You're not gonna, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things as an American that you probably are.
You don't have to worry about if you have an accident and how you're gonna, like, pay
Yes.
for that. Sometimes when I go home and come back, I struggle coming back because everything actually seems more difficult.
Here
And
in New Zealand. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
but it's like,
it's very rulesy. Is that why?
I don't know, it could be, like, I don't know, sometimes it's just, like, driving to the store,
Yes.
like, will feel difficult because
It does
maybe
feel
it's,
difficult.
like, trafficky because I didn't live in a city either. Yeah, so and I'm, like, trying to pull out of an and this city definitely has gotten a lot more people since I've been
Yes.
here, and so some of the road structures and infrastructure is not set up for it, so I'll be, like, sitting at, like, a road trying to get out and there's no light, and I'm just like,
Yes.
This just seems difficult," and, or I don't like roundabouts, even though lots of people love them, and then maybe the laundry thing, like,
Yes.
just ticks me off too
Yes.
because the wash machine and
You have to have a certain amount of grit
I'm
in order
sure they
to.
make big washing machines. I'm sure there are some, but, like, what my setup
Yes.
is not, like, ideal for, like, a family of 4. And so and 2 girls. And so it's just like those types of thing I don't know what else I can't think of it off the top of my head, but the last time I came back, I called my husband in one
Mhm.
of my rages, and I'm just
Yes.
like, "Everything is just so hard." Whatever I was trying to accomplish, whatever I was trying to get done for that week, everything just felt difficult. Maybe I wanted fresh fruit that week and it wasn't in season, and I just came back
You can't get it.
from getting
Yes.
$2 raspberries at Trader Joe's in the middle of winter. So I
Now
came
there's
back and I'm trying to
9.99.
yeah, and I'm trying to make something and nothing I couldn't find any of the food I wanted. The access might have been, like, the access of
Yes.
it, and you just adjust. Everyone knows
You
when you
have to
get
be
back
willing to
for 2
adjust.
weeks,
Yes.
I'm not great, and then I find my gratitude,
Yes.
and then I'll just be driving down the road and be like, "What a beautiful life I live."
I
Yeah, and it comes back,
yes.
but, I just have to go through each time my family knows, like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not be great for a couple weeks.
It's true, like,
Um,
there's a lot that's very convenient in America, that's a lot easier, like
yeah.
Amazon and all those things, and
Yeah.
it's
Even, like, when I get on the
yes.
road there
But are those conveniences good for us?
probably not, because it's better to struggle a little bit at least. Yeah. Well, that's
And you take so much of it for granted, and you're swimming in stuff, like, we
and
were just
so
swimming
much
in
stuff, I
stuff, so much
know.
stuff.
And impulsive buying, and now I
Impulsive
don't have
buying.
impulsive buying. I go to a grocery store and get food. I have never had food delivered to my house in either country, like, because I think it's good to get out and have conversations and, like,
Yes.
talk to people. That's my nature. Sometimes I make life more difficult because, like, I don't know, when people are like, "You can do this, it makes it easier." I'm like, "No, I feel better doing it the hard way."
Yes.
So I don't know why it, like, feels so bad when I come back, but anyway, I always adjust
How
that.
often do you go back home?
Well, during that COVID time,
Yes.
I was stuck too, and that
Okay.
that stuck feeling for
It
me
was
was
hard.
not good
That
because,
was
like, again, my grandmother did die, and I
uh,
couldn't go and, like, coulda yeah, like, my mom would have brought me home, maybe not yeah, for at least, and then, once that passed, last year I did go home was it last year? Like, I did go home 4 times, but it wasn't, like, planned. A friend died,
uh,
and so some friends actually paid for my ticket to come home,
uh,
and then my grandfather died, and so, like, my mom had us come home, and I wasn't working, not by choice, like, I couldn't find a job.
Yes.
And so that made it possible, but, like, it was kind of funded by other so that's how that happened. And then I think yeah, I did end up going home 4 times in a year, which was definitely not like, it wasn't pre-planned like that.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't think we were gonna get to go home this year, but my mom misses us, so now we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That's what ends up kind of happening.
Yeah.
And but now that the older one's in high school and those exams, I was
Yes.
like, "No, it has to be school holidays
Yeah.
because 'cause we've gotten away not doing school holiday
Okay.
taking them out of school in primary school here.
Yes.
Everyone does it,
Yeah.
especially my daughter goes to a school that's only, like, 35% Pakeha white people, so there's,
Okay.
like, a lot of immigrants, and a lot of them do go home for long periods of time,
Yes.
so it's very
They just look the
accepted.
other way.
I think it's just what they expect here
Okay.
because not like, I mean, 3 weeks to a month is normal. Because A, it's primary school, they're not that stressed about it,
Yeah.
and, I think it's just part of living here with so many immigrants and because we're an island, even people who live here, they take those European trips,
Yeah.
and it's so
Yeah.
far to get there, it's not gonna be a week, so a lot of families I know have taken their, like, lifetime family trip and gone to Europe for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just pull 'em out of school.
Wow.
And everyone has told me you can do that up until year 11.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you have to do it
Yeah.
around school holidays because of the exams.
Yeah.
So, that's actually been like, no one questions it. I don't have to
Wow.
write a letter to a school board
Yeah.
or anything, like, it's just and then they say, "And if you're gone, like, more than 6 weeks, you do unenroll, but don't worry, you kinda re-enroll when you get back." It must be hard for teachers to deal with that, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming might be a little more
But
difficult
they're
for
not as
teachers.
obsessed with, like, testing and all of that. Yeah.
No.
Even in year 11, that's when my daughter started.
Oh,
Yeah.
and even with the
Yeah.
NCAAs, they weren't
Yeah.
that obsessed about it? No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all pretty chill, which actually is so refreshing. It's
Yeah,
so refreshing.
it
Like, I
is.
think we put so much onus on kids.
Yeah.
That's just unnecessary.
Well, I haven't talked about this on the podcast, but my daughter was at public school for 2 years, high school, and now she's at a private one, and honestly, the education is not different.
Yeah.
We
That
she
doesn't
wanted
surprise me.
she wanted more, rigorous academics and athletics. So far, the coach for the one sport she's in now, unorganized, stands on the sidelines like he's half asleep, and the coach that she had at public school is all volunteer, and those coaches were organized, gung ho. Like,
Oh,
they didn't win a game for, like, several games last year, and
wow.
I would go to most of them, and then the first time we won a set, he's, like, jumping up and down on the sidelines,
Oh,
and he's high-fiving me. I'm, like, the only parent there and everything, which I thought was sad that I was the only parent there, but, and then there was just so much joy about it and stuff,
yes.
and I was like, "We finally got one!" And then now the private school doesn't even have better athletics, and maybe another one does, but this one doesn't.
Okay.
And then she said academically, everything is, like, the same. Curriculum's kinda the same. The difference is there's less distractions in the classroom. So
Okay.
she said, "I think I'm learning a little bit more, but not because the teachers are better, because there's less distractions from boys and silliness and,
Okay.
stuff like
She's at a
that."
girls' school.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so yeah, and she actually misses the rough she
Yeah.
misses, the troublemakers a little bit because it did
Oh,
give more diversity to her day,
yes.
and she's missing the diversity
That makes sense.
of her school. Yeah, she said
Yes.
now everyone's copy paste kind of. Yeah. And she said also in her public school, teachers liked how she would ask a teacher, "How are you?" Just
Yes.
have conversation. "How are you doing?" "Thank you, please," manners. And
Mhm.
she said that stood out there, and now at this school, everyone has manners, so she's like, "I'm not special." So, yeah, it's a lot of money, and I'm like, "Maybe it's not worth it." Is like, we're gonna bring it time, but
Okay.
it's a really interesting social experiment for us,
Yeah.
to see, but if we didn't try, you would have got it's kind of like just like moving here stuff. If you don't do it, you're always gonna regret not doing it.
Yes.
So, it is something she really was begging for because
Yes.
she thought it was gonna give her something better,
Yes.
and so we finally agreed, and I said, "Be honest with me. We won't tell daddy." No, I was like, "Just be honest with me. We're not gonna be mad at you or anything, and, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just tell me the honest assessment of all of this." And so she really has been, and it's been an interesting experience for all of us, I guess.
Right.
So,
Well, you might
anyway.
save yourself some money.
I know we might be going back.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. I mean, you
Yeah.
just never know. And I'm like, it was so brave of you to even try it because
Absolutely.
I had
It's
not,
hard to transition schools.
yeah, like, in high school, I had an opportunity to change high schools when I was in my town. And I was like, I'm not leaving my friends. I'm not leaving my friends.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I wouldn't have been brave enough. And so I was like, at your age to do that, that's pretty cool. And she still hangs out with those
Yes.
friends. She says they're just really fun and different. Yeah,
Aw,
so
look
anyway,
at that.
we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes. Yeah, so anything else? Okay, I wanted you to talk
Yes.
about what your service and whatever wherever people can find you.
Oh, yeah, on Instagram, Julie in New Zealand.
Is it Julie? Okay,
It's in
yeah,
New Zealand.
perfect. Okay, well, it's gonna wrap up unless you have anything else you wanna
No, this was so
add?
fun, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay.